Hello, in this recording, let's review how to check the journal entries we entered into the SAP system and the account balances, and finally, how to close all of the journal entries for the current period. The instruction is on section 7 and 8 in the instructional file. So section 7, view journal entries and balances. There are two commands included in this step. First, let's check the journal entries. You can follow the manual path or the T code. Transaction code is S underscore ALR 87012289. So when you type it, or you can copy and paste from the instruction, but be careful, make sure it's not case sensitive, but the letters and numbers are correct. Oh. S underscore. Yeah, I think this is the one I used. So once you get into the input screen, we need to specify our unique company code. For me, I'm using the 02. And we don't really have prior year transactions. We can skip. But assume if you work in real companies, you may have multiple years data. You may want to specify the years. Okay, so you also can do multi-year display and multi-company code, but then that normally need special access to the system. And the ledger is 0. Be careful, it's 0 and is number 0 and the letter L is default, means your general ledger. So once we put this basic information, we can execute. I didn't put all of the journal entries from the assignments. I think I only have 4 or 5 of them, but you can see that's basically following the order I entered. So you see all of the beginning balances, not in the debit or credit separate columns. It's one in one number column, but with the positive means debit and negative means credit accounts. And then for the second journal entry is payment of the salary payables. And I put other two journal entries in the system. So if you complete all of the journal entries, it should match what you have in the Excel assignment with the account numbers, not the account name, and also the transaction document with the new. I think that's sequential to the time you input into the system, the year, and also your username. So that's the journal entry, and then you have a summary for total credits and total debits. Then exit. Now I'm trying to show like a simulation for a simple financial statement or the account balances, because the prior one we checked is the journals, but now we are going to see the ending balances for each of the account before closing. So this one I'm using the other transaction code, this one. Enter. And this one, I need to put the chart of account is GL. Okay, not your company code, is your GL. I have 02 and then company code is a match with the GL and company code. Then the report format, because we have different versions based upon the different countries the company operate. For this one, we are going to use a version for the USA or for the US, BAUS. But if you use the search, and you can get the different versions from here. So again, I'm picking the BA. So if you scroll down, yeah, this one, BAUS. And then automatically we are comparing the results with last year, even we have no data in our system. But imagine if you have prior year's actual data, this give you a immediate comparison or comparable with prior period. Or also for the outputs, we have different formats. You can use the classical list or use the other two formats. I can show you the difference later. Let's first use the classical list, the default execute. For this one is more like a ending balance, trial balance, right? So only ending balance, not all of the numbers happened for each account on both the debits and credits is ending balances. So this is the classical list. And from here, it's more for me more like a trial balance, and then we can convert to a statement. Or if I go from here, if I choose, I think the ALV, let's try this, the tree control. And for the yellow, you just confirm. Let me see. And this is another way to look for the balances, okay, with comparison and showing the differences. And with the order of the accounts is assets, liabilities, shareholders' equity, then for me, I only have a sales revenue and cost of goods sold, your temporary account or income statement account. So that's basically the checking journal entry and account balances. So in the SAP system, once you enter the journal entry correctly, all of the remaining steps in the accounting cycle can be generated by the system, like automatically. Then finally, if you want to close, so the closing entries we learned from financial accounting. The closing entries, the purpose is close the temporary accounts, your total revenues and the total cost and expenses to return earnings so we can start the next accounting cycle. Here, the closing, you don't need to do it manually under SAP. It can be completed by a separate transaction code. And the transaction code, or you can follow the manual path and click on enter. And the ledger, this one, okay, put 0L, okay, leading ledger is the number 0 and the letter L, or company code 02. Carry forward to fiscal year. So for me, I may put like 2026 or, but that's normally in the year end. Okay, so I can execute. So test run, because sometimes we don't really want to run the final. So you can do a test run. This is test run. Detailed. So these are your balance sheet account. So you can see we don't have the revenues and expenses anymore. And that's your return earning, the ending balance we after closing. Carry forward. And now if you get into fiscal year 2026, you can add the new transactions into the system. So 2025, the accounting period is closed. So that's basically the end of the journal entry module under the SAP.